Welcome back.
Hey, welcome
Happy
back.
holidays, everybody. All 10 or 15 of you that listen regularly. We
How would
appreciate
we up to
each and every
16
one of you.
now? I would appreciate if we were up to 16. Match me.
Hopefully, it's way more than 2.
Oh, it's okay. I think my mom listens.
Wait. That's 2. You know
Yeah,
what?
my
Your mom
mom and
says you're a
fiance.
handsome guy, Andrew.
Yeah. Typical mom
Yes,
comment.
you're a handsome guy, and any girl would be lucky to have you.
Well, there's one girl that's lucky to have me. She's sitting downstairs right now.
Oh, yeah? Like,
Yep. She might complain about me sometimes, but she is engaged to me, so she's kind of stuck now.
that's fair. Yeah, mine married me and had we had a daughter and have another son coming in April. So yeah, she has no choice even if she wants to. She's still stuck somewhere.
Just
And
roped in.
yeah, got him. So before we get started on hockey topics, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season with the Christmas and or Hanukkah if you celebrate that or
Yes,
any
happy
other
holidays to everyone. Hope
denominations.
everyone had a happy new year and had a lot of fun.
No, I had a little interesting situation where I was going down to my friend's potluck. We do it every year, Christmas potluck, and we are going down to my in-laws as a little pit stop for my daughter, and we're driving down a road. The road is a side of a side street, and it's a very small road, like one lane each way, more or less. But because the driveways are so small, it's built so compact in that situation, like that whole neighborhood, every driveway is like a 1.5 car driveway, but every house has 3 cars. So a lot of people park on the road. So it really makes it like a 1 lane road. And I usually drive it doing like 15 kilometers an hour because people whip through this road doing, I've seen 50 kilometers an hour. And I've almost gotten into accidents on this road because of that. So I'm driving pretty slow. And there's a guy on the left side parked along the curb. And I mean, like, I'm almost there. I'm just a few houses up to my in-laws' house. And this guy pulls off the curb right in front of me and cuts right across the road. And I honked my horn at him as you do after I slammed on my brakes, and I'm wondering what this guy's doing. And he proceeds to try to back into his driveway. 8 different times he had to reline it back up because he almost went over the curb into his grass. He almost ran into his garden. I'm sitting there just watching this because it was ridiculous.
Austin Powers like?
It was bad. It was really bad. And so finally he's just enough onto his driveway that I could squeak by. So I'm squeaking by and he's still trying to readjust, but so I gave him a kind of look, kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he gave me a certain hand gesture that's not exactly the friendliest. And I'm wondering, I'm like, he thinks I'm in the wrong because I'm driving. So, like, from my in-laws' house, this house where this guy pulled out from and parked in the driveway is across the street and 3 houses down. So he's right there. And so I pulled up along the curb and I proceed to exit my vehicle and take a couple things out into the in-laws' house. And I walked around back of the car and he starts yelling at me. And I'm not going to say what he was saying because some of it was pretty vulgar. I'm glad my daughter was still in the car. She's 2 and doesn't need to hear that. So think to myself, I could engage with this guy and I could get into it with him, but I decided to take a different approach. I opened up the trunk and I reached in. I grabbed my the scraper / snow brush out of the trunk. I extended it, and then I proceeded to walk around using it like a blind man's cane with my eyes covered like this. And I just started wandering around onto the road, just and he's now like losing his mind. And my in-laws neighbor, next door neighbor, is sitting on his front porch having a smoke, and he is just dying with laughter because he sees this happening. Like this guy's screaming, and I'm just because he saw the whole thing unfold, and he's just laughing. And after about 10-15 seconds, the guy started to simmer down. Noticed I wasn't really engaging, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was that was an interesting. That was a different way of settling a situation. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that one. It was a good one. And that is the Andrew stretch and twist of the earphones for those listening and not watching.
Yes.
So I just the other thing I want to say is we didn't record an episode last week because after the Christmas holidays, my family, we went to Jamaica for
Yeah, someone had to leave the country and go somewhere warm and nice and send me and our other buddies pictures. Be like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. Do you see my tan line right there with my sunglasses?
Oh, Christ, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my sister's wedding, so they wanted to do a destination wedding. So we all went down there for New Year's, and my goodness, I'm a big coffee guy. I drink a lot of coffee. Coffee's great. There's nothing that can put you in a better mood as fast as a nice cup of coffee. But I have to say, this is the best coffee in the world. It's very expensive, but it is very good. It's Blue Mountain Coffee, and it's because it's so special. It's coffee beans are grown on this one specific mountain in Jamaica, and it's because of the climate of that one mountain that makes it so delicious. It's just earthy. Oh, like the coffee is just phenomenal, and I bring it back every time. It's great.
I believe it's good. It's not the best though. The best comes from elephant poop.
No, I think you're thinking about the cat poop.
Elephant poop.
No,
There's multiple poop coffees.
is there?
Excuse me. Yeah, there is.
Because I thought it was in China that they had the cat poop coffee that they digest the coffee bean.
It's all the same idea. There's a animal. It's a big. I don't know. Rodent. It's actually a mammal. I forget exactly what it is, but it's a little furry thing. Does the same thing. Eats coffee beans. Digests. It digests basically it's a berry part of the bean and poops out the beans, makes good coffee. I actually saw Bear Grylls make coffee with it because of course he made coffee with poop.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from poop coffee.
Yes. Well, I didn't bring a poop coffee.
You brought up coffee.
It's a genuinely no poop coffee, but it's very good. Okay. Anyway, so that was a little recap of our holidays, and thank you for being patient with us.
Well, that was a recap of Dave's holidays. Mine weren't as exciting. I didn't get into a fight with a in-laws neighbor's neighbor. I just went and had family dinner, and that's about it. A couple family dinners, a little bit of gift giving, minimal family drama, all fair stuff. Everyone was happy.
Sometimes low key holidays are amazing. Like you could be busy, but like a nice relaxing holidays is still just as good as being extremely busy and all over the place.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to keep it simple this year. Not too much running around. Anyway, we'll get on to some actual hockey news here and cover a little bit of what we missed. More important stuff, anyways.
Is that what we do on this podcast? Is hockey?
Sometimes we just mess around.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, depends on the day.
Yeah. All right, back to the hockey.
We got World Juniors though. It's not something I want to talk about, but it's something we will talk about. I'm sure all of Canada is disappointed in a certain Hockey Canada GM and coach, but we'll talk about it. So,
So one thing I will say is before we get to the coaches and the management and all that, I've seen a lot of hate for Easton Cowan. Granted, he didn't have a great tournament, but the guy just came back from injury. And these guys, like, he's playing against the best junior level players from all across the world. And you're coming into it in preseason form. Yes, he had a training camp with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he came back injured and he hasn't played much. So he's still in preseason form. And that hurts. That hurts a bit.
It does. I don't condemn hate towards any of these kids,
No.
even the GM and the coach. Like, I will trash them right now shortly and tell them people why I think they didn't do a good job, but no hate towards them. They're people. Keep it
People make
professional.
mistakes.
But getting on to the mistakes that I believe the Canadian roster choosers made. So, why did we leave off some of the top scorers of the CHL? Why did we leave off Zane Parake, by a Sens fan here, but Carter Yakimchuk, and I'm sure some non-Sens fans would agree, and Beckett Seneca too. Like, the kid's doing good, and you're not
He's
telling me a team with those players would do worse.
Beckett Seneca. He's with the Generals, isn't he?
Ooh, don't test me on that, but I think so. I just know he was drafted by the Ducks.
Quack.
It's the San Ducks. Here,
Yes.
he's currently, Oshawa Generals,
Awesome.
6th in OHL scoring with 59 points in 33 games. Like, what are you doing leaving
26
him
of
out?
those are goals. 26
Sorry?
of those are goals.
Yeah.
26 goals, 33 points. He's almost a 2 point a game player.
Yep, exactly.
And the other
Now
player
they're
we'll talk about that was left off of here is also the current OHL leader in points.
I'm more pissed about Michael Misa. He was
Yeah,
the leader at the time when they selected the teams.
he's still the
Um,
leader. He currently has 6 points more than Nick Lardis, who is the second in OHL scoring.
how
And
much does Nick Lardis have for you?
he's got 60 points.
How much does Misa have for you?
66. And Misa's played 3 less games.
Do you not see a Liam Greentree at the top?
What is this sorted by? Oh, this is sorted by goals.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm on the OHL website and it's sorted by goals, not points.
So Liam
Sorry about
Greentree's at the
that.
top. But let's go to Michael Misa. We'll do this player by player for the ones that I listed out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you not even invite a kid that has now 32 goals in 34 games and 34 assists in 34 games for 66 points? How do you not invite him to your training camp? That's skill level. I don't even care. I don't know this kid. I don't know much about him. I don't care if he has an attitude issue. You want to win? You take him. You give him a chance at least to make the team. Maybe tell him he needs to work on his attitude, but that's the only reason I can see to possibly. It's not even a good reason. I just don't see why you don't invite that kid to camp.
He's not an overly big boy, honestly. He's 185, but that's at the junior level. He's 6'1". Like, he's got some size to him. He's got size. He's a goal a game player. Yeah, that's a big no on that one. And he's a plus 27. He's playing on the Barrie Colts. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not too well versed on the OHL standings, but
You have a player like that. It matters a little bit what kind of team they're on, but he's obviously leading the team. But
the Barrie Colts are first in their division.
Add him in. Think of what he brings.
And what Team Canada lacked. He's a goal game player, and they didn't score.
Exactly. And
they had 60 shots against Latvia and scored 2.
Latvia's goalie was good. I'll give them that. That was maybe just peppery and not going for quality, but like look at Zane Parekh too. Defenseman Zane Parekh, to be clear. 43 points in 32 games. 12 goals, 31 assists.
Yeah.
Like
What was it? Where was he drafted?
top 10 this past
Top 10.
draft by Calgary. I was debating if I wanted him, and I'm sure he was still would have been a good pick. I just think Yakimchuk's better rounded. You know, Ottawa already has a lot of offensive guys.
Yeah, they got some guys in there that can do stuff. Wow, what colored commentary. he,
Now,
in my opinion, he's the type of guy that you need because he's a strong defenseman, and Ottawa doesn't have the best defense.
Yakimchuk
Building,
is the guy that we need.
no, you said they could have drafted Parake,
Yeah,
right? They could draft Parake. I think that would have been a good pickup for Ottawa. And
over
because,
Yakimchuk.
do you agree?
I disagree for now. So Shabbat's offensive, Sanderson's offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Sanderson has actually a better two-way game than Shabbat. I think Yakimchuk's going to help round out that decor. You know, we're going to have Nick Jensen for the next couple of years to play that top four role. Jensen's going to fall off. Yakimchuk will be in. I expect him in next year. He just has a better defensive mind than Parake from what I've seen. No knock on Parake. Parake's going to be a game changer for the Flames, most likely. But
Mm-hmm.
Yakimchuk's just, he's good. He's still offensive. He has 34 points in 31 games as a defenseman in
That's
WHL.
not shabby.
Not at all. Like he has good skills and whatnot. It's just, I like him a little bit better. It's kind of the better fit, you know, drafting need versus best player. I think Prake's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be a better player overall, but I think Yakimchuk's going to fit just the team better. Plus, that's going to give us Yakimchuk, Kachuk, and Ostapchuk. That's
Chuck,
just
chuck,
fun.
chuck. That's good for a
Get
little
them all
chuck.
on the ice at the same time, have them score a goal,
Chuck, chuck,
all
chuck.
of them involved. The announcer's just going to be like, oh, shit.
He's gonna have a chuckle. He's gonna have a chuckle, is he?
Anyway,
Nice
so,
protein shake.
hey, I hit the gym tonight. These little muscles need some protein to help grow.
These muscles here they could use some firming up.
There, you hit the gym, I'll hit the gym.
I've I've said to a few people my New Year's resolution, and I don't want to sound like the stereotypical bigger guy that's gonna say, "Oh, well, lose weight." My I'm not gonna say I want to lose 60 pounds because I don't think that's realistic, knowing that I have a kid on the way. But that is one of my New Year's resolutions, and I will update on this. I'll update on this podcast as I go through the year where I'm at. And I do. My ultimate goal is to lose 40 pounds this year. I think that's
Okay,
very doable. It's very doable.
it is, man.
Almost lose 40.
It's very doable. You know, we
Maybe
can have a little gym segment. It'll mainly be you, but we'll do me too. Um,
we'll do
I'm
you.
trying to do the opposite of Dave here. I'm trying to gain. I've always
He's
been a
looking for
skinny
what I'm
dude.
dropping.
Yeah. So I've currently put on a couple months ago in the summer. I went consistently to the gym, put on 10 pounds in a month, which is an insane amount to put on in a month. Um, but me and my fiance are gonna get back on track. I've
Especially when
given
like
her a kick in the butt, and honestly, I piggyback on her membership, so I can't go without her. So I kind of need her to go.
is
Um,
that is that with Fit for Less?
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. They're starting to open up everywhere because I think Peterborough's getting one soon too. And I know
It's
there's one in
nice.
Lindsay.
It's nice. It's well equipped. Everything I need for good workout.
And
But let's see. I'm
for the record,
currently.
10 pounds for Andrew putting on 10 pounds in a month. That's almost 10% of his body weight.
Yeah, so at the time that I put on 10 pounds, I went from 135 and 145. Now I'm around like 46. My goal is I want to hit 170 by the end of the year. I'm going to try for that.
It's doable.
Now,
You got to do
keep in mind, I am 6'4" to our viewers, so 140 some on a 6'4" frame isn't really a lot.
skin and bones.
Hey, I have an excellent body fat percentage. You probably have the body fat of a pro athlete, or even less.
I don't. I'm like a heavy cream. But
I'm like that fat-free cream that no one wants.
You're like skim milk. Without the sugar.
Well, let's do coconut milk. At least it has some taste. Coconut.
I did not know this. I had a coconut down in Jamaica. It was fantastic. Like the gardener cut it there, and I didn't realize the meat inside that usually like cook and roast is usually get roasted coconut meat, but it's actually very, very soft. It's like a jelly consistency. So like I kind of like broke it up a little bit and dumped it out, and it comes out. It's almost like a thick, chunky yogurt. Is how it comes out. It is so delicious. Like
really?
it's so good. Now people say it's a laxative. I didn't have any issues like that, but I ate it all, and it was delicious.
Pure laxative.
Relax.
Okay.
But, all right, with this little segue,
basically that's why I think Canada lost a roster selection. By the way, congrats to the States. They had a stacked team. They deserved the win. They played well. Close game with Finland. Good for them. But it could have been so much different if there had been more competent minds picking the Canadian team. I feel like they're too stretched out. Like they're looking at the Four Nations roster. They're looking at potential Olympic rosters. You know, they have to deal with some legal stuff that's happened. Won't get too much into. But
yes, that ongoing situation.
Yeah, the other World Junior kerfuffle.
Just for record, 2 NHL players that were still eligible, but for obvious reasons would not be released from their teams. You have Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard, who are still eligible to play for the World Juniors.
Yeah, that I don't fault them on at all. I mean, on the Sharks, I'm not risking my really only star skater in a tournament. You know, that could be a career-ending injury. Low chance, possible. Same with Bedard. So I don't blame them for that, but I blame the selection for not including Michael Misa is my big one. Yakimchuk, Parake, and Seneca, all important as well. They could have made a difference, but Michael Misa is a game breaker.
Like imagine at the World Junior level, in his year, if you left off Tavares.
Exactly. Like,
we
have an American friend, also named Dave, and we're trying to get him on the show, trying to get him
He's got
on,
a girly friend.
Yes, he has a girlfriend. He plays hockey, and we don't know when he'll make time, but he was having a nice disagreement with us in our group chat today, saying, Canada lost, just take the L. And we're like, yeah, we know we lost. We have taken the L. But this is why we're pissed. Like, we lost, we know. We care, but we don't care. We care about the roster selection. And, like, what the hell is this? But it is in the past now, so congrats to USA gold, Finland silver, and Czechia bronze.
Czechia bronze. They've been sneakily up there the last few years.
The Czechs have been good.
They've kept the other countries in check.
I'm gonna fire you.
Now, for obvious reasons, Russia was not was excluded for the tournament, and like that makes way for a couple other teams to make it. For example, who who were some of those teams that were in the tournament? Like lower ranking.
Germany, Kazakhstan, Latvia. Kazakhstan has been relegated, while Denmark has been put up into Division A for the next World Juniors. So,
Yes, so those teams wouldn't have made it if Russia was eligible,
well,
obviously.
one of them wouldn't have
But
been in.
well,
I don't know what's going to happen when Russia comes back. If they're going to have to start in Division B and work up again, or just go where they were.
they're gonna put them in third tier as punishment.
No, that'd be punishment to the other teams. Like, Russia's still going to be freaking stacked. Imagine Mitch Coffey had played in the World Juniors in a Division C.
Playing
Like,
playing against China or
he would
Japan.
literally just run through them. Be one of those 40-goal games.
Yeah. So
Anyway, so that's my
you're right.
thoughts on the World Juniors. Dave, you have anything to add?
I think that does a pretty good job. They made some very odd choices that definitely did not work out in the long run, and you gotta wonder why. They left off two of the best goal scorers, or quite literally two of the best goal scorers.
Part of it was Dave Cameron. So the hockey GM for Canada had uh, part of it, part of the choice, but Dave Cameron had influence. He helped pick the team. There's a reason some of his players from the team that he coaches were on there.
Yeah.
But moving on, we've talked about this for a little bit now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some NHL news with the Ducks extending Frank Vatrano. Not huge news, but a 3-year extension worth 4.7 annual value. It is weird. So that's the AAV, but there is a $9 million salary deferral, meaning in 2035 he'll be paid $900,000 a year until the year 2045.
So this is 10 years from now. He will start receiving these payments.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the next decade.
So that'd be September 25.
I mean, by the time he retires, and I'm sure.
Well, Christ, he's 30 now, so he's going to be retired when he gets that.
Yeah.
Like, I highly doubt he's going to be playing at 40. Not many players do that.
It's scary to think that in like the next few years, these guys are going to be retired, and these guys are younger than me. Like Vatrano is in '94. He's younger than me. It's scary that these guys are retiring. It's like, when did I get so old?
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
He's a physical player. He's not a small guy. He's a veteran. He's had a strong mid range second line role on some of the weaker teams. Like Anaheim, he's kind of found his role as like that veteran. But he's until he made the Ducks, he really hasn't been a huge point producer. But like last season, he put up 60 points in 82 games, which is
they should have traded him last season. He had that value up, and honestly, look at the Ducks. He's 30 years old. He's not fitting into their current rebuild plan, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But they should have gotten value for him. Like, he had a great season.
A player like that, a 60 point scorer, like he almost reached 40 goals there.
Exactly.
Which is more goals than his last 3 years combined. So
that's a crazy stat.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm between 23 and I was looking at the stats and it's split between the Panthers and the Rangers. But yeah, he had previous to that, 22-23, he had 22 goals, then he had 8 goals for Rangers and 10 for the Panthers. So
his career high before that was 24. Like 24 is nothing to laugh at. Like, some good consistent scoring, but just they should have traded him when that value was up. I guess he's signed. He's a good vet for the kids that are there. McTavish, Leo Carlson, Zegras. But
that's a different different topic for a different day.
We could get Dave on for that, and let's talk about him.
He's a TikTok type player.
Cutter Gauthier too. He's good. Or
Yeah,
he hasn't been great this season, but he should be better.
the Ducks haven't really taken that step that everybody thought they might have been capable of.
I was never convinced.
Like I was
After
never
this
convinced
season.
that they're going to be anywhere in the. I didn't think they'd be as. I won't say as good as they are now. I thought they would still be somewhere in the San Jose level. I didn't think they'd be not far out from a playoff position. They're not going to make it. That being said, like they're not in the running. But I thought I
Yeah.
thought I thought they'd be a little further behind where they are. But then again, they're not in the strongest of divisions. I mean, you have Calgary, who had a very hot start but has struggled since.
Oh yeah, they've really dropped off.
You have Seattle, who's again a mid low team. Then you have San Jose, who's just
San Jose.
San Jose. Macklin celebrating has almost as many points as their team has points in the standings.
Looking at like
There's
Vatrano's
3 teams.
card, he is a goal scorer. Simple as that. He plays against good players. That's what that competition percentage means. But yeah, he's a goal scorer who doesn't play good defense. He's simply he'll be a good vet guy.
But even what's his cap hit going to be? 3 point something.
Hold on, I thought I just had it up. His current cap hit's 3.6. His future cap hit will be 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
With the cap going up,
4.571, so 4.6 if you want to round. And yes, it's not a bad contract. I have no issue with it at all. And good vet presence, but
now do we know if those future payments are going to count against the cap in those years? I feel like that should be. Not that, but like by that time, the cap could, if it's going to the current projections, the cap could be in the 120 range. But so like 900,000 is variable. But
you want to know why it is the way it is?
Why is it the way it is?
Where's Anaheim? What state?
Could they be in California?
Look at that. You're good in geography. So, yeah, exactly. He's in California. California is a really high tax state. So the logic here that most people are picking is he moves out of California. He doesn't have to pay California state tax on that $9 million over those years if he's retired and gone.
I don't know how the tax system in the U.S. works, but there could be a case for it that it's where the contract is earned, not where he's currently living. Does that make sense?
It's structured to work here. This is from Frank Saravelli of Daily Faceoff. So he's getting paid $18 million for 3 years.
$18 million for 3 years.
So rather than have $6 million AAV, he'll see that $9 million deferred, and it's structured to work around the state of California's strange tax system. And it's the same reason Ohtani, who we talked about pre-show there, of the Dodgers, baseball. Yes, signed his contract the way he did, so backloaded. So it gives the Ducks more wiggle room cap-wise, as it will only count 4.57 per year for those years.
So he's going to move to Nashville or Florida?
He can move wherever the heck he wants.
Because I know those are low tax states. But yeah, it's a very odd setup for a contract. And if you're Frank Vatrano, regardless of the taxes, you're
It's
getting
guaranteed money after you retire. Because Frank Vatrano, he'll
yeah.
start
But
getting
you
paid that when he's 40. So
no, the value of that 900,000 now versus then, it's a little it's significantly less, but it's $900,000. You're not overly worried about that.
it doesn't matter. He's going to make all that money. He's already made a lot of money. He's rich. It's
Yeah,
simply guaranteed money later on that he doesn't have to pay as much tax on.
if the Ducks are still around, that is.
He'll get paid one way or another. That's why the CBA and everything exists. It protects players like that.
So the NHL is going to pay for it, like they were paying for the Arizona Coyote paychecks last year.
Probably something like that, yeah. Moving on,
Right.
we just spent a lot of time on Vatrano.
This is a good one.
Quickly, Arthur Kaliev.
Kaliev.
So, drafted by the Los Angeles Kings in 2019, second pick of the second round. Kaliev is now 23, and
still
he
young.
came back from injury, and they waived him. Now, honestly, I wanted Ottawa to pick him up. He has some connections, so he played for the OHL Hamilton Bulldogs, which Steve Staios, Ottawa's GM, used to be the GM of before he was in the NHL.
Okay.
And they had a good relationship, apparently, but Kaliev never got down to their spot in the waiver list because New York is currently above Ottawa in waiver picks. So, this is what everyone has missed out on, because I guarantee this kid would have got claimed whether it was by Ottawa or another team. Because a 23-year-old still has time to develop and change. 77% offense, beautiful. Defense needs to improve, but we just saw Frank Vatrano with 4% defense get that extension, so 23, he can improve on that, he's fine. There's just so much potential there, and I don't think LA is the right spot for him. This could be a Tolvanen situation, like with Nashville when they waived him, picked up by Seattle, immediately did good.
Oh, which one, sorry?
Tolvanen when Nashville waived him. He never really made it onto Nashville's team, and then he went to Seattle and bloomed into a good player.
And he was picked up by the Rangers.
He was. So they get rid of Kako, bring in this kid for free. FYI.
No, it's not like they planned that.
No, they definitely didn't plan it, but it's a smart move. With all the moves that they made, it's a smart move. But looking at Mr. Tolvanen quick, just for comparison.
Tolvanen?
So he had, in his first bigger season, he played 40 games for the Preds, 22 points. 75 games for the Preds, 23 points. 13 games for the Preds and 4 points. Then he was waived. Went to Seattle, put up 27 48, 41 and 81. So not like, oh my god, an all-star. But that's a middle six forward. That's solid.
It's solid.
It's someone that you want, someone that can produce. Not everyone has to be a star. Some people need to be role players.
Role players are what you need to win cups. Stars are great, but role players are going to get you those nitty-gritty.
Scoring depth, simple as that. Doesn't have to be there every night, just has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
for Arthur Kaliev, like it's not like he hasn't produced.
Done that bad.
His overall career stats, he's got 188 games played, 35 goals, 36 assists for 71 points. As a young forward, especially given that part of this was during the COVID seasons and all that, where his development could have been delayed. I think LA gave up on him too quick.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in that 2020-21 season. He only played a game.
But he had a goal.
Yeah. The 21-22
he had one shot.
Season,
he had 100% shooting that season.
He should have retired then and been like, I'm a point per game player.
The highest. I am tied for the highest shooting percentage in NHL
Actually,
history.
22-23 season, 28 points in 56 games. That's solid, you know. That puts
Mm-hmm.
them right at the 41 point mark if that was a full season.
Does it?
Or not quite, but roughly.
Yeah, 41 points. 41 points is what he would be at because it's a point. It's a point every other game. Extrapolate over an 82 game season is 41 points.
Oh, wait. That
That's a
was good
solid.
math.
It was very good.
So I think they've given up too quickly. Do I think New York's going to magically fix them? No, that place is a dumpster fire right now.
They're
But
looking for anybody who can put a puck in the net every
do I
few
believe
games.
New York can change this season? Maybe. By next season? Definitely. They'll do something, get themselves righted.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they're 18, 20, and 1. They are sitting outside the playoffs. Let's see by how much.
I
Oh,
I
they're really
still
sitting
can't.
outside.
I still can't believe that. Like I didn't think that they would be that bad. Like they're second. Like the New York teams are tied for last in their division. I never would have thought. Now, I didn't think the Islanders were going to be good, but I definitely didn't think the Rangers were going to.
You don't think teams that have Sorokin and Shesterkin are going to be ranked 8th and 9th in the Eastern Conference for wild card rankings?
Yeah, there's
Like,
only
that's just
one
bad.
team below those two teams
And
in the wild card
poor
standings. Is
Buffalo
the team that
Sabres.
went 0-13
Yeah,
over a 13
but
game
like,
stretch.
to be clear, that's 14th and 15th in the Eastern Conference for the Rangers and Islanders that have two of the best goalies in the game. So,
Yeah,
goalies are voodoo, but Jesus, I don't know what's going on with those,
it's
especially the Rangers.
yeah. I mean, the Islanders
Um,
were never like. In fairness, they're playing against some pretty good. No, every team's playing against some pretty good teams, but the Eastern Division or is it the Eastern Conference? I feel is has the potential to be that much higher of a like Washington was. No one thought they were going to be this good. The
no,
Devils
there's a
are
few
just a good team.
outliers.
No, honestly, I didn't think Carolina was going to be as good as they are because of what they've lost over the summer and what they were able to add. I thought they were going to take a step back. They're doing pretty well.
The emergence of Marty Necas helped them. That's one thing.
Niches, yeah, but
But looking at this, the wild card battle is going to be an absolute shit show. Look at the numbers here. So pay no attention to the standings, but Ottawa has 40 points. Here's the two wild card spots. So 42, 41, 41, 40, 40, 39, 38, 37. No one's even at, like, we're shitting on the Rangers and the Islanders, and yeah, they should be better. But they're not even really out yet. You know?
they're only 5 points behind. But
Exactly.
they're sorry 4 point. They're 4 points out of the second playoff spot. How Montreal has squeaked into there, I don't know because they've been a dumpster fire. But
Well, to be
sneakily,
fair,
they're 8-2 in their last 10.
yeah, they've have games in hand, or sorry, other teams have games in hand on them, so they have more games played than Tampa, Ottawa, Wings, Rangers.
You still
Now,
have to win them.
yes,
Obviously,
yes, that's true.
you still got to win them.
My guess is I'm hoping Ottawa wins their next game, which should be tomorrow, and then they'll hopefully hop back in there. So what
Yeah.
do I even guess? It should be
No.
right up here
Sorry,
on the
I was
schedule.
just seeing Columbus Blue Jackets. It reminded me of the team we played against on Saturday night in just on the Xbox, and they had the Columbus Blue Jackets emblem in their team name with
Oh,
lowered expectations.
yeah, they definitely
That
lowered ours.
that one was pretty funny,
You know, that was
but
a really easy game. I think we made them quit, right?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I know yesterday was a pretty good day where we made a couple teams quit. I played an
Ooh,
online versus and I scored one on my very first shot of the game in my second game that I played yesterday. And I think I scored the goal with 18 something left in the first period and the guy quit. I was like, really? It's one goal, man. That was a pretty
man,
nasty goal, but
people
still.
get pissy though. Um, we did not
No.
forget about our listener question from the last time we talked. So,
What? Can
Ryan
you
had
remind us
asked
what that was?
us who was going to win the game between the Avalanche and the Ducks, and we were all supposed to predict the final score. I said
Hmm.
4-2 Avs. Guy said 3-1 Avs, and Morsey went 2-1 Ducks. The final score was 4-2 Avs, so I was spot on. Look at that hockey knowledge.
Now, my
Unfortunately, our new question from listeners since we took a break is actually outdated. It was for another game. So if you guys want to comment and ask
mhm.
again, or oh, I forget the name of the listener that asked the question, but if you want to comment and ask another one, we're going to be recording another episode this week. So ask a question that's going to be
Poss-
Thursday or later
possibly a
for,
surprise upload on Sunday.
yes, we'll see about that. But you ask us then, we'll prioritize you and pick you.
Now,
But
if
anyone
we
is welcome to shoot us a message on Instagram, DM, tag us on Twitter, all that fun stuff, or comment on
send
the YouTube channel.
send me a text message. No, I'm just kidding.
We can put Morrissey's phone number right up on the screen. Do
We
you
are
want that?
not gonna do
Yeah.
that.
No, we'll just do that right now.
Yeah,
um,
it's 911.
anyways, moving back to this, that just reminded me of Ryan. So there you go, Ryan. That is your
If
answer.
we if we get
Um,
enough if we get enough listener questions, we will do a quick episode on Sunday, and we will be out on a lake ice fishing while we're doing this episode.
yeah, this could be a real, in-person Dave and Andrew episode, not, yeah, 4 hours away. I'm going to be nice and make the trek up, and Dave's going to be nice and show me a good ice fishing spot.
And fry up some fish.
That too.
I have a new
Um,
deep fryer that I got for Christmas that I got it for Christmas like 3 years ago, but I haven't been able to pull it out.
that's what she said.
And my she wants me to whip out that deep fryer. Woo wee. But
um,
yeah,
anyways, we'll see. We might go
we'll
live
see.
with that one for you guys, but we'll see what
Yes,
happens there. So we have the Sens and Red Wings playing tomorrow night. The Sens need to obliterate the Wings. The Wings have been bad. The Sens have historically been good against them lately, so that needs to be a win. So if they win and the Blue Jackets beat the Penguins, that's going to be tough. But if that can happen, Ottawa will snag that playoff spot back. And that would make me very
yeah.
happy because we are missing Olmark right now and he's week to week and everyone has just fallen off a little bit. So if everyone could bounce back, that'd be wonderful.
Injuries are gonna happen. It happens.
Okay,
That's part of the game.
I agree. Ottawa's been through more goalies than pretty much any other team in the league in the past 5 years.
For once, I can say that's not the Leafs.
No, like you don't understand.
I do
Ottawa
understand.
went through so many. And it's not even just like, oh no, this goalie's no good. We're gonna try another. It's this goalie's injured. This goalie's injured. This goalie's injured. We were on a fifth string goalie that we signed to a PTO, and our backup was another PTO. Like that's how bad it was at one point.
Listen here. I don't want to hear this because the Leafs have a historic loss against a team who went through two goalies in one game and pulled the guy out of the stands to play David Ayers. And he he threw on some goalie equipment and he won the game. I don't want to
Uh,
hear how many goalies they went through. Two goalies that game and still a guy who had never played an NHL game.
That is everyone's favorite
But
story.
yes,
If you tell people that
Leafs lost to
Ottawa's
a
been through that
Zamboni
many
driver.
goalies, they actually feel bad. there's enough hate for the Leafs that everyone's like, haha, you lost to your Zamboni driver.
You
But
lost
no,
that works for your team.
yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah.
going back to this, the Eastern Conference is going to be close as hell. And honestly, we're halfway through the season and it's still close. So there's no one that's really pulled away in the wild card race. Even going up in here, the Bruins are at 45 points. That means the Lightning are only 3 points back.
I'm
The
curious.
Leafs have pulled away a bit, but
The
go
Leafs,
ahead.
the Leafs style that I've seen this year is far different from last year's style. I want to credit Craig Berube for that change
Look at
because
everyone. We have another surprise Leaf segment from Dave. Who would have guessed?
you know what? I don't like your attitude, but I
I have
just want
extra
to say
energy.
I'm a huge Leafs fan, but I'm also a huge critic and realist. But this year they're playing a different style of hockey that they're actually shutting down opponents, not just outscoring them. They're not getting into these 7-6 firefights anymore. They're winning these 3-2 games, 3-1, 2-1. Like they're winning these low scoring games, and they're doing it without Austin Matthews. They're doing it with lots of injuries. I mean, speaking of which, do you see what happened with Chris Tanev?
Yeah, I think he told me he lost part of his jaw.
It was like he was skating back to the bench. And it looked like he just lost his dentures because that much came out. I was like, oh, that's my reaction. Was,
Just
oh
no.
no, oh no, and but like that. No, that's a different story. He's gonna be okay. He'll come back to the lineup, but it it's it seems different this year, and I want to say April because April, but it seems a little bit
Don't say it.
different this
Don't
year.
say it.
What,
Don't.
April?
You're saying the thing that every Leafs fan says. It's gonna be different this year. This year is already
I'm
here.
not
It
saying that.
feels different.
I'm not saying that because all I can go off of is what we have right now with the
You're
current
heading
season.
that direction. You can't.
I'm just saying
You're gonna discredit
they're
this whole
winning.
freaking podcast.
They're winning in a different way. Is all I'm saying. They're shutting down their opponents. They're getting goaltending. They're keeping the puck out of their net. They've lost a lot of goals from last year at this point, but they're keeping the puck out of their net a lot more too. That's all I'm saying. Is it's a different style of win. They're not getting the flashy wins. They're not getting the high scoring wins anymore, but they don't need to.
That's good hockey. That's for sure.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
You're good. You're good. I mean, I talked a little bit about Ottawa. You're good. That pretty much
April.
wraps it up for today, unless you have something else. I'm pretty good.
We
have a little bit to talk about on Thursday.
Do we want to bring up that first topic?
No, because I'll go on. There's quite a bit to go on. We're not going to act like it's nothing. So we're going to discuss the MVP candidates, who we think's going to be close in the race, who's kind of a dark horse to win it. But honestly, it's 11 o'clock here. We're recording a little bit later.
It is not. It's 10:48.
Oh, Christ, it's close. We both work in the morning, and I don't want to be cranky. So
one thing I was just going to mention quickly, with Montreal's 8-2 record, they've beaten. It's not like they've been playing bottom feeder teams and beating them. They've beaten some pretty decent teams. So I'm looking at their last 4 games. They're 3-1 their last 4 specifically. They beat Montreal. Oh, sorry,
Avalanche.
Montreal beat Montreal. No, I was going to say they beat Vegas 3-2. They beat Avalanche 2-1, and they beat Vancouver 5-4. Like those are 3 playoff teams and 3 good teams.
That is pretty good.
That tells me.
Ironically, they lost 4-2 to the Hawks.
Yes. Yes. The Leafs also lost the season series against the Hawks last year, 0-2.
But going off what you said too, they beat the Lightning 5-2 and the Panthers 4-0. So that's all pretty good. I'll give credit to them.
They're having a good stretch right now.
They had some good goaltending, so that helps.
I was just going to say they're getting goaltending. Like against the Avalanche, you have players like McKinnon, Makar, Taves, and so on and so on. They get 23 shots, which is not a lot of shots, but you still only gave up one goal. And it was like Rantanen scored it was a deflection it was a power play deflection that Rantanen deflected a McKinnon shot.
That's hard to react to.
Yeah. But they won it in a shootout. But still, you kept a high-flying offense team like that with the crazy top talent down to one goal and beat them in a shootout. Sorry, not even beat them, shut them out in the shootout. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good game. Now is Colorado looking at it? Oh, it's just Montreal, so they took a night off, maybe. But
you can't take a night off in this league, and that's why. The competition is so close. Every player in the NHL is
are
good.
there for a reason.
Like, if they go down to the AHL, outside of, your rookies that are just getting in, they still light it up.
Like even John Scott won an MVP at the All-Star.
The big man was just trying his best. He even got in the fight.
So that just tells you right there.
So you guys can all join us on Thursday. Episode will probably be posted on Friday. We're going to discuss our MVP candidates, dark horses, who we think's in the top spot right now, and we're going to talk about one Mr. Alexander Ovechkin and his hot start since he got back with 4 goals in 5 games and 5 points in that time. He's definitely not missed a step, so we'll see when he's going to break that record.
Especially considering he broke his leg.
Yeah, no.
He has not missed a step.
Oh God, I did a Dave pun.
Unintentional too.
Completely unintentional. On that note,
That's
everyone
amazing.
have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It does help us out with the algorithm going up and getting more people to see the show. So.
And remember, Andrew's mom says he's a handsome guy.
I hope one of you in the comments will just agree with her. It would really make my day.
I think you're a handsome guy.
Well, I guess that counts.
I'm a married man.
That's okay. I'm engaged.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for your continued support. And I know we have listeners in many different countries, which is pretty awesome considering how low of numbers we have so far. I think
honestly, yeah, shout out to all the Europeans, Scandinavians that have tuned in. That is friggin' awesome, along with the Brazilians. We do appreciate that, and we just love the reach that we've got so far, and it's really been fun. Hope to continue this journey and get more of you guys listening. Show it to your friends, see if they like it.
Share it.
Do our best.
Look us up at a party that you go to. It'll be fun.
Okay, we're gonna end it on that. Dave's just gonna continue saying stuff. See, he's just gonna continue.
Sometimes, but how do you know?
Right there.
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
I'm contorting my hands because I'm Andrew. How do you know that those Scandinavian countries are really, really good at keeping track of their warships?
They Scandinavian.
Exactly.
I'm done. So have a good night, everyone. Bye now.
Thank you very much for listening to my nonsense and Andrew's hockey knowledge in this episode.